when you mix coffee-infused whiskey and Guinness to create a truly unique coffee liqueur. There's only one person who can really tell you if it's good. I'm trying to get this to James Hoffmann. Stick around to see if I pull it off, and I'll show you how to make this Guinness coffee liqueur yourself. Then we'll mix a quick cocktail with it. I'm calling it the Irish-tini. Plus, we have some great news for European friends of cocktails. I'm excited, so let's start. It's cocktail time.
It's cocktail time.
Making DIY coffee liqueur was actually one of the first Cocktail Time episodes that got some traction. And that was all the way back in 2020. Seems like a lifetime ago. The bump in views came after Truffles on the Rocks recommended it on his channel.
Recently, I've stumbled across a very cool cocktail YouTube channel called Cocktail Time with 𝗡𝗲𝗁𝗁, and he made a very nice coffee liqueur recipe using rum. I highly recommend you go and watch it. While you're at it, why not subscribe? It's highly worth it.
Now that we've passed the 5-year mark of making content on YouTube, it seems nice to look back on the beginnings. And it's also great to remember the work of other creators that inspired me in my work. James Hoffmann was certainly one of those people. That's why I took his idea for drinking donuts in coffee and turned it into an old-fashioned. He called it the best kind of escalation of his nonsense that he could imagine. I'm not sure he got to try it. So when I came up with the idea of combining coffee, Guinness beer and Irish whiskey in a coffee liqueur, I thought, let's not leave it up to chance. I'm heading to London a few days after we're shooting this episode, and I'll bring a bottle of this liqueur with me. I guess you'll see by the end of the episode if I was successful. But first, we need to make the liqueur, which looking at the ingredients, I should have thought of this recipe for St. Patrick's. Just goes to show you never know when inspiration hits. I have some freshly ground coffee, which will be used to infuse Jameson Irish whiskey, instead of creating a cold brew. This coffee whiskey base will then be mixed with sugar and Guinness beer, but to really enhance the coffee and chocolate notes of the most famous stout beer, we'll use a technique we've shown on the channel before, called cryo-concentration. Start by pouring 2 cans of Guinness into a container, which we'll then place in the freezer. We've done this with fruit juices and even soda, but beer is new. With the help of freezing and precise defrosting, it will allow us to reduce the amount of water in the Guinness, and in turn, concentrate the flavors. If we try to do this using heat, we'd alter the flavor of the beer, and we don't want that here, since it plays a big role in the final liqueur. While that was freezing, we already started on the whiskey and coffee base. For that we combined 600 ml or 20 ounces of Jameson triple distilled Irish whiskey, and 65 grams of coffee, freshly ground for making a cold brew. Stir this together and let it infuse for 24 hours. Or until your Guinness in the freezer has frozen all the way through. Then it's time for the defrosting process, which takes a bit of math. Start with a bowl on a scale, write down its weight, add a strainer and zero everything out. Then add the frozen beer or the strainer and check the scale again. In my case, the amount of Guinness added weighed 860 grams. As the beer starts to melt, the rich parts will drip through first. Flavor, alcohol, aroma, and water melts last, staying on the filter. We're now aiming for about a third of the original weight, around 287 grams, of what will essentially be a Guinness concentrate. But when you're checking how much has already melted, you also need to add the weight of the bowl, so keep that in mind. While the beer melts, we'll also filter the coffee-infused Jameson. I think it would be a shame to not use something as ideal as a Chemex for this job. Both of these will take some time, especially melting of the beer, but keep an eye on the numbers of the scale as that's happening. Once the cold brew whiskey is filtered, and we have the right amount of Guinness concentrate, it's time to combine the two and add the right amount of sweetness. To my 280 ml of concentrated Guinness, I'm adding 466 ml of whiskey cold brew. This now needs 112 grams of sugar. That gets us into a perfect sweetness level for a liqueur in my book. Speaking of, while the magnetic stirrer makes sure everything is fully dissolved and mixed, I can tell you about an awesome way you can create fast and easy liqueurs, with the help of our friends from Liber Co. But they make syrups, right? Right, but you can use them in more than just cocktails. Take this delicious tropical passion fruit syrup, for example. Yes, you can create these 2 cocktails, and I'm sure they're amazing. But you can also mix this syrup with the right amount of vodka or even rum to create a liqueur. I went with an equal parts of Liber Co's tropical passion fruit syrup and lightly aged rum, and that's it. A small bottle of this will not only make a gift that will blow your friends' minds, but it's also ready for whenever you're in the mood for a porn star martini. Like this one, 2 ounces or 60 ml of vanilla vodka, 1 ounce or 30 ml of our DIY passion fruit liqueur, 1/4 ounce or 7.5 ml of vanilla syrup, 1/2 ounce or 15 ml of lime juice. Boost the flavors with 2 drops of 20% saline solution. Then shake hard and double strain into a chilled cocktail glass. No passion fruit pulp clogging up the strainer with this one, and no garnish needed either. Just don't forget about the chilled sparkling wine palate cleanser. Doesn't get any easier than that, and it's delicious. But I need to finish our coffee liqueur. You can grab the tropical passion fruit syrup through the link in the description. And I'm happy to announce Liber Co is now also available in Germany, Switzerland, Austria, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands. Grab your bottles now. Once your liqueur is mixed, you should definitely give it a quick taste. I don't want to praise it too much just yet, but it's smooth, rich, and just a little bitter with dark chocolate, roasted coffee, malty stout, and whiskey for the structure. Exactly what I was going for. We're ready to bottle it up, but I'll do that in 2 bottles today. One for our cocktail, one for James. I'll label both, but this will get some extra protection before it's ready for the trip to London. Speaking of ready, let's use our star of the day. In a quick and simple cocktail I'm calling the Irish-tini. All we're adding is an essential cocktail time ingredient, saline solution. To make this Shakerato-style cocktail, start with a chilled shaker and add 3 ounces or 90 ml of our Guinness coffee liqueur, followed by 1 dash of 20% saline solution. Shake hard with ice. Double strain into a chilled 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏 or a martini glass. You'll see this gets crowned with a beautiful foam on the top. That's mostly from the Guinness. It's got all those amazing flavor notes from the liqueur we tasted before, but it's just elevated with a richer texture and extra brightness. Amazing. I guess recipes like this might be the reason why the cocktail subreddit named me the Hoffmann of cocktails, alongside the amazing Anders Eriksson. I'm honored to be in such great company and compared to James in the first place. So here's what happened in London. Once I made sure I found a nicer bottle cap and got the bottle safely to London, I went to my hotel, got my apron ready, and boom, my guest shift was on. It was a night of bubbly cocktails. Until James Hoffmann showed up. He tried the Guinness coffee liqueur, sampled a few of my signature cocktails, and we had a great conversation once my guest shift was over. He really is the best, but you probably want to know if he liked the liqueur, right? Maybe he'll comment down below, but let's just say I won't be changing the recipe anytime soon. I hope you all enjoyed that, and if you'd like to learn more about making DIY liqueurs, check out my ebook on our Patreon page. It's full of tips and recipes to elevate your cocktail game. I'll see you guys next time. Cheers, friends of cocktails.